This is A.D. Roberts. Welcome to Better Is Now, the podcast. I believe we live in a world filled with limitless possibilities, and in this world we are all looking to feel, do, and to be better. From that limitlessness, gentle nudges arise to remind us of our own possibilities. Today's nudge is about to begin right now.
Hey my friends, this is AD, and I'm here to bring you the Better Is Now podcast. This one is really near and dear to my heart because through this series of talks that we're going to be doing, I get a chance to be really transparent and to talk with you at a place where it's really intimate and we start to engage in some things that will make us better. You know, many of us, I know we wrestle with every day. We see a picture. We see that picture for our lives that, you know, we want something different. We want something better. And we wrestle with, the how, how are we going to get there? How are we going to do it? And it can be really challenging, to say the least. And I know my own struggle, my own journey has been really difficult. Because as a coach, and I've been on this journey for a long time, but as a coach, I always had a picture for my life. I always had an image of how things were to play out. But what winds up happening is life takes place. And when life takes place, some of those things are not 100% in our control. I know that we teach, most of us coaches, we teach that you are the champion of your life. You're the captain of your ship. You have the ability to shape and define, your life. Yes, to a great degree you do. And it has to do with not only what you do proactively, but it also has to do with how you respond to life. And see, that's the part that most of us don't talk about. It's one thing for you to practice and to box and to be in a ring, and because one of my mentors, we talked about this once, and he was an amateur boxer, and it's one thing for you to spar and to be practicing alone, and to practice certain movements and all of that kind of stuff. But it is a different thing when you're actually in the ring with somebody else. You might be the fastest runner in the world, but until you deal with the mental pressure of the media, when you deal with the pressure of performing in front of thousands and thousands of people, those are different variables that are thrown into the equation that you don't control. You can't control if somebody yells. I have an 11-year-old son. He plays basketball, and so if he goes to the free throw line and everybody is not quiet, it may throw him off. But that's how life goes. So the point is that this series of talks with the Better Is Now is about addressing life issues and addressing stuff that we deal with on a regular basis. Like, seriously, these are things like I know I have dealt with personally depression. I have dealt with not living up to my own expectations. And, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't make us comfortable in our lives, but, that's how life goes. The other piece is that when you look at the title, how, when I was sitting up with a few friends of mine and we were talking about, this new podcast and what it's going to look like. And the Better Is Now. What does that mean? Better is now, because again, most of the time we're always looking for the next thing. We're looking for the next big break. We're looking for, how we're going to be better and to do better out there. And waiting for the day when, we always talk about, I can't wait till this happens, or I can't wait until I get a new job, or I get into my new home, or, I launched the new book, and, I can't wait until then. But if we spend so much of our lives, waiting on the then, waiting on when it is to happen or when it is to come, how much of our lives do we sacrifice because that's really fantasy? And what I mean by that's fantasy is that there's only one real moment. And many of you who've been around me for long enough, you know that, you hear me talk about it. The present moment is it. The past is gone, never to be seen again. And technically the future hasn't gotten here yet, and technically never will. And we'll get into that. We'll get into that a little bit later. But the only thing that we have really is the present moment, because the past, as I said, is gone forever, never to be seen again. The future, it hasn't gotten here. The only place those two realities exist is right here in our minds. And so the ever fleeting now, this now moment, we have to get into a place where we are so comfortable with ourselves now. I didn't say complacent, I said comfortable. You have to be able to accept where you are and to love where you are, to love who you are in this moment. Because it is the love and the care that you have for yourself in this moment that will put you into a position where you can resonate and vibrate at a place that will cause you to attract into your new now experience the reality that you really want to experience. I'm gonna say it again. The only way for you to really vibrate at a place, because I always say that in order to experience a thing, you have to be a vibrational match for the thing. If you want to attract wealth into your space, you have to be a vibrational match for it. We don't experience anything that we're not ready for truly, because even if something does come into your space and it comes into your present moment reality, it won't stay for long. If it is not meant for you, if you are not a vibrational match for a thing. I mean, you hear about it all the time. People who hit the lottery, they hit the lottery, and that's, that's that whole luck thing. But are they really resonating at a place of managing wealth? Are they at a place where wealth and prosperity is a part of who they are? Because one of my mentors would always say, you have to be the thing. You have to be the thing. In order to experience the thing, you have to be the thing. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's just like when you look at an apple seed. That apple seed cannot change and become an orange tree. So within the very nature and design of that apple seed is the potentiality for an apple tree. Not an orange tree, not a lime tree, but an apple tree. So its being is congruent with the thing that it is to become. So if you are to become wealthy, you have to be the thing before you become it. You have to resonate on that frequency of prosperity. You have to resonate on that frequency. But how do you do that? This series of talks is designed to get us to a place where we focus on the present moment, where we focus on the now, and we allow the now to navigate us to that place of reality that we want to shift to. So if we're unhappy with where we are, I'm not saying fake it till you make it. No, that's not that. It's something, this is totally different. It is about placing your attention on the thing. It's about placing your attention on the thing that you want to experience. And we all know, and here's another topic that I talk about most often, is our reality is also predicated by where our attentions lie. Our reality is predicated by where our attentions are and where our intentions are. Attentions and intentions. Our attention is focused on, in this present moment, where it is that we want to go, what it is that we want to experience. We see the thing. We see the thing. And then from our attention, the intentions we place and we put out into the universe, we intend on experiencing something, not expecting, because expectations always line us up for disappointment. I mean, that's always been my experience. But for us in this moment, I want you to get accustomed to never ever sacrificing the power of the present moment for the fear of the future or the pains of the past. The most important thing, the most powerful gift that you have, the most powerful weapon that you have is this ever fleeting present moment. And if you could ever understand how much power we sacrifice each day by lamenting over what we did, the mistakes that we made, the failed businesses, the failed relationships, sitting there wallowing in our sadness, because sometimes we can be addicted to that feeling of sadness. But remember, our reality goes as does our attention. So if we're focusing on the past, if we're focusing on the pain, what are we doing? We're bringing the past and the pain into the present moment experience. And so therefore, that's what we have going on. That's what we experience, the pain of something that happened a long time ago. Or we sacrifice the present moment for fears of the future, what may happen. And this gets really complicated because we start to wrestle with these mental movies that we play over and over and over again of what could possibly happen or what could happen. And we rehearse in our minds. We'll have an entire dialogue. We'll have an entire dialogue, and y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. We'll have an entire dialogue about what could possibly happen. And we're right here in this present moment, and we're sacrificing it just to play the mental movies of what could possibly happen. We play those movies over and over again. And the thing about the pains of the past and the fears of the future, neither one of them feel good. Neither one of them feels good, and we pull them together into the present moment. And we destroy our opportunities to make change and to make shifts. The only way you have to move those fears of the future and the pains of the past out of the way, because the only place that you can plant the seeds of your possibility or the greatest version of yourself, the only place that you can do that, the only place you can do that is to plant seeds right now in this moment, by virtue of your intention and your attention. Place your attention on the thing that you want and send the intentions out into the universe for what you want to experience. Speak the thing as it is right now. You have to, we all have to become comfortable with where we are. No, it may not be perfect. Your situation may not be perfect right now. And I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to have a picture in your mind for what your life should be like and what it should feel like and what you should be doing. Because, we all had those plans. We started off, as teenagers, and we moving in our 20s, and by this age, we're going to have this, we're going to have the children, the husband, the wife, the dog, the picket fence, the house, the perfect job, and all of that stuff. But then when life happens, that throws all of those plans off. So the vision that you have in your mind, you get challenged by that vision over and over again. But it's okay to be challenged by that vision, but never allow that challenge to turn into turmoil. And never push yourself to a place where you are sacrificing your power of this present moment experience. Because that's what we wind up doing. Remember, wrestling with the pains of the past and dealing with the fears of the future. So what are we going to do? So now, through this whole series of talks that we'll be doing on Better is Now. Better is now. Better is right now. The opportunity that we have is to plant the seeds for the things that we want right now. That's to feel good. That's the number one thing. All of us want to feel good. That's why we do the things that we do. That's why we ask for the things that we ask for. We want to feel comfortable. We want to feel good. Unfortunately, sometimes we can become addicted to the feeling of not being so good, and that's another topic for another day. But I want you to, for a minute, how do you become present? How we become present? We're going to become present right now. We one of the things that I like to do is I like to meditate, and I learned to meditate. And it's not it doesn't have to be some deep transcendental type experience. But what you have to learn to do is to become quiet, because in the quiet is where the beauty lies. As a musician, I understand that if there's not any silence between the notes, it all becomes noise. If there's no silence, if there's no pause, if there's no transition from one note to the next, if there's no harmonious blend between the instruments, then it all becomes noise. And what happens in our lives is we're so busy and we're running around trying to do things, and we're trying to create this life for ourselves that we really are walking around in chaos and a lot of noise. And in that noise, I think a lot of our passions and our purpose gets lost in the noise of day-to-day life. So you have to take some time for yourself and be present. And how you become present is to sit and be still. Because in that stillness is peace, in that stillness is clarity. In that stillness is your opportunity to commune with your higher self, is the higher version of yourself. So one of the things that I like to do is I use breathing to get present. I'll take a deep breath, especially like in the middle of chaos, if the day is going crazy, because it happens from time to time, especially in my world. But I'll take a deep breath and I'll just blow it out. I'll take a deep breath and I'll blow it out. I'll be mindful of my heartbeat. I'll be mindful of my heartbeat. I'll be mindful of my breath. I'll be mindful of maybe a noise that I hear. I'll focus on one thing, or I may light a candle and I may focus on the flame of that candle. And just get quiet and be present. And it does so many things for you. I mean, the benefits of meditation are just innumerable. But one thing that I know that it does is it alleviates stress. And so alleviating stress allows you to usher yourself into that present moment so that you can plant the seeds of attention and intention. So this entire series, I'm really excited about it, because this, we get a chance to be really transparent. And we're gonna really solve problems and issues and things together through this whole process of us working on Better is Now. Better is not necessarily out in the future, because it's gonna be hard for you to become a vibrational match if you're feeling bad in the present moment, because that's what's real. If you can visualize yourself as this beacon, and you're sending out a signal constantly, but you can only send out the signal in the present moment. And as you're radiating and pulsating how you're feeling in this moment, You see how my hands are going? My hands are going in and out, in and out. I am sending out a signal and the universe is responding. I'm sending out a signal and the universe is responding. And as I send that signal out, the universe will always respond to me in like fashion. If I'm sending out a signal of distress, the resounding vibration that comes back will be stress. But if I'm sending out peace, if I'm sending out love, if I'm sending out prosperity, if I'm generous, then the universe responds. Now, it may not be as fast as you like, but in due time and in due season, and in uncommon hours, you will attract into your space the experience of that vibrational frequency that you sent out. So the question is, what do you want to experience? So depending on what you want to experience will determine what you send out. So you have the power. You have the power to shift your life to a place where you're not waiting for tomorrow to be better. You're not waiting to be happy later. What you're waiting on is nothing, because better is now. Better is right now. I choose right now in this moment to be happy. I choose right now, no matter what's going on in my space, no matter how crazy things are going on around me, I choose in this moment to be happy. I choose in this moment to experience the greatest things, the most beautiful images, the most beautiful experiences, the most healthy of relationships. I choose those things. How do I choose those things? Because that's where my attentions are. That's where my attention is, and that's where my intentions are. And I do that right now. And the best thing I can do is to get centered, get quiet, and plant those seeds, and then move on about my day. What happens, AD, when I hear it? Somebody just, well, what happens when you're trying to do that, but life won't leave you alone? When reality is ninging in your ear, or you hear that self-talk that's not so positive, but it's negative. Be mindful of it. Don't fight it. Acknowledge it. And, look at it as if you're stepping outside of yourself. There's a book, one of my favorite books, and I know it's on my shelf down there, I'm pretty sure. It's The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And he uses this beautiful exercise where he encourages us to step outside of ourselves and observe ourselves. To step outside to observe. And when our ego begins to wrestle with the pains of the past and the fears of the future, you can just step outside yourself and say, oh, look, isn't that so cute? Don't fight it. Don't resist it, because that which you resist about yourself persists within you. That which you resist will persist. So you're not going to resist it. You're not going to fight it. You're going to accept that you're having a moment. You're going to accept the reality that you're having a little negative thought, but you're not going to give it any energy. You'll acknowledge it. You'll say, hey, look, there he is. There's AD having that doggone moment again. You're having a moment. You're having a moment. And just shift your attention. Focus on something else. Turn on some music. Read a book. Shift that attention. Shift that focus to something else. Because when you're planting seeds, you don't want to be taking a crap where you're planting seeds. Yeah, I know that's a little graphic, but at the same token, you don't want to do that. That makes absolutely, that's not aesthetically good sense. I know people may get, super deep and all, and talk about how great things can come from, planting seeds with manure and the fertilizer and all that. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I get that. I heard you already. But not for this. It is about vibration. Remember, it is about being a vibrational match for the thing you want to experience. It's about being a vibrational match for the thing you want to experience. And the only way to become a vibrational match is to be the thing. Be the thing. Resonate at that level. You want prosperity? Be generous. You want prosperity? Read books on prosperity. Listen to people talk about prosperity. Listen, there are thought leaders in that area. If you want to be more happy, come here and listen to the podcast. If you want to become more focused, you want to be more deliberate about your life. There's so many things that you can do. And when you're ready for those things and you truly want those experiences, ask for those experiences, and I promise you'll attract them into your space. This is a wonderful time for us to work, on ourselves inwardly, because especially during, we're still in the middle of a pandemic, and we're wrestling with that reality. Many of us are, quarantined or self-quarantined. You're not going into the office like you used to, or working from home. Kids may be homeschooling and all that kind of stuff. So it's a good time to focus on you. It's a good time to get quiet and not allow the stresses of this season to dominate and control, because you're still in control. Because better is now. Better is now. I promise you, better is now. And the reason why better is now is because we say it is. The power is in the present moment. Your power is in the present moment, and you are going to walk in all of that power just like I'm choosing to walk in my power. Do I have moments? Yes, I have moments just like, anybody else does. But over the years, I've just learned a few things that will help me get beyond those moments back into a better place. So what I need you to do right now, I need you to like, follow, and subscribe. Please, like this channel, follow this new podcast. We're on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on YouTube from my YouTube family. So please definitely like, subscribe, follow, and share. Somebody needs to hear this message. Somebody needs to hear that they can shift their life. And we're going to be coming on every week with brand new episodes every week, and look to hear from us every Monday. And I'm really excited about doing this because this is my purpose. This is my passion. This has been A.D. Roberts with Better Is Now. I look to see you next time. Be brilliant.
This is A.D. Roberts, and you have been listening to Better Is Now, the podcast. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for awesome programs and inspiring publications. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or our very own Anchor. See you next time.